All right, Jim. You and I have never met before. Is that correct?
We've never met,
All right. Well, good to meet you. How can I help?
but you're like the most interesting man alive,
Correct. Wow. I'm glad you said that.
which
There
is
you go.
very cool.
I think I lost a little bit of that. Sorry.
I watched a few of your recordings there yesterday, and good
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually feel a little weird. I didn't mean to give you the recordings page. I meant to give you this page. I think I'm gonna put those on YouTube. I've been doing this. I've been doing this for 6 years, just trying to, help where I can help, and or just talk to people where I can talk to people, and like, I find it to be so interesting, and I just think it's so real, and I think it's something that I can do that not a lot of other people can do, and I just want to make it public. That's why I've been asking to record it. But I've been doing this for probably 4 years, 5 years without recording it. So now I'm finally just sacking up a little bit and making it public. But I love it. I love just meeting people live, raw, no edits. Just who are you? How can I help?
Nice, way to go. Well, it's funny too because I got Riverside probably 7, 8 months ago, and haven't used it. So
Well, what was your goal with it? Why did you buy it?
this is a good kick in the butt to say, why haven't you used this yet?
Well, what were you going to use it for?
Uh, I wanted to do kind of similar stuff, but put together some videos talking with people surrounding kind of short-term rental in the in Disney market where I am. I'm in the Orlando area.
What happened?
Uh, Great question. I did a couple of interviews on Zoom. I found some short-term rental owners and did some interviews on Zoom and had like I probably talked for too long. And I was like, all right, what am I going to do to cut this down? And then life, yeah, it just multiple other things.
I hesitate to give advice, but I will. I'll just tell you what I think. I have quit more podcasts than I care to admit, and it's because I always try to do podcasts how I think they're supposed to be done, which is, an interview, you got to get a guest, you got to have a format, you got to have this, that, and the other thing. And then, so what I stopped doing, and I have a really good story about how this fits in with the cameras. What I've realized is every time I do that, I do four, five, six, eight, 10 episodes, and then I get bored because I'm like, it's the same. It's too repetitive for me. I'm not a structure person. I'm a chaos person. And so what I did is so then I started doing this, and I got back to doing this. I'm like, I'm not going to schedule an interview with some specific person. I'm just going to talk to everybody because I like talking to everybody and finding out. Just I don't care. Sometimes, a lot of times, you'll be in real estate because that's my circle, real estate, and sometimes you just need motivation, and I'm good at that. And sometimes you just need like just somebody to ask you why'd you quit, and sometimes that's valuable, right?
It is.
And I'm sort of good at just because I'm so contrarian by nature. I'm usually good at just being like thinking about the thing that you're not thinking of, and because I say whatever the fuck I think completely unabashedly, sometimes I'm just like, hey, here's this other perspective. So I say all that to say, I stopped trying to do things the way that I thought they were supposed to do, and what I did was I just looked at what I naturally gravitated towards, and I just lean into that. And I think that's going to serve me a lot better, and it might serve you a lot better. So if you're like, hey, I just want to talk to folks, you're like, dude, take off the pressure about it has to be this certain type of person, it has to be this weekly thing, it has to be some big production. Maybe you can just be like, short chat for short rentals, and
30 minutes, come up with some conversational stuff and let it
and
rip.
then
It's
and then you go on the Bigger Pockets forum, the Bigger Pockets Facebook, you go on War Room, you go on your Facebook, you go on Instagram, and you just say, I want to talk to people about short term rentals. That anything related to short term rentals, I want to talk to you. If you or somebody might be interested, share this and just put a Calendly link, and then just that's what I'm doing. Just now
yeah,
we're here, and
it's
then
nice.
if you enjoy it, you can do more. And if you don't enjoy it, then you don't have that much pressure. So you're like, well, this is not right. So what's then you find the right way instead of like, I don't know. I can't speak for you, but like for me, just like the structure and the pressure of having to do some certain things some certain way, and then it beats the excitement out of me. So that's why I'm doing this.
100% right. Yep. My wife and I did guess we have around 40 YouTube videos for our real estate, retail real estate stuff. And I just wrestled trying to learn too many different programs on how to edit it, and ultimately gave up on all the hours of, these different programs and just did something on our phone. Simplify it. Okay, I can do this on my phone. It's not the best. It is what it is.
Dude, the game is reps. Like this, I don't edit this at all. I don't edit this. There's no intro. I'm just going to post this as is on YouTube. And I'm just going to post it as is on YouTube. And that's just going to be it. And you know what? There's like a 99.9% chance that there'll be no following. Nobody will see it. And that's fine. That's fine. If for some reason it grows, I can sink more resources into it. But at least now I know I can do it and it fits my biology. And I'm super big on this philosophy called beta procrustes. And I won't go into the whole thing, but the beta procrustes basically means you do not fit natural phenomena into arbitrary boxes. It's the giving kids Ritalin to stay in school. It's like it's not the kid that's wrong. It's the school. It's the school format. So, right. I'll tell you another quick story. We do this with cameras. So I'm a photographer, longtime photographer, and early in, I'm doing this thing where I think a lot of photographers go through it, and you're trying to find your style. And I'm like, what's my style? How do I find my style? How do I define it? And then how do I lean into it? And that way you can make pictures yours. And I never could figure it out. And so then I was like, well, whatever. I still want to shoot. I'm not trying to get anything out of it. I'm just trying to do the organic biology thing, like what feels natural. And so I go off and shoot. And then like, I'm probably shooting for 6-7 years before I read this comment on Reddit on some videography or photography thread. And they're like, you don't find your style. What you do is you just go shoot for 10 years and then you look back and you see it.
Yes.
And that hit me like a ton of bricks. And I think about that with photography or content or life. And it's like what people do is they try to fit their biology into somebody else's box because they saw somebody else do it. And they're like, I want to do YouTube. And it's like, okay. But the cool thing about YouTube and podcasts and content and photography is like, dude, there is no right way. There's just and the wrong way definitely won't work. So I say all of those things to be like, I would do what feels right with no pressure, what feels engaging and fills your cup and makes you engage, like makes you excited. And then if you do what feels really natural and fun and compelling, then you can sink more resources into it later and then it'll be yours.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching, I guess you're recording with Dan Slaughter where you're going over some of your equipment. And, so that was interesting. And then, I had reached out to Adam Whitney. I'm part of Adam's title company, and I just texted him to let him know that I was scheduled to have a call with you yesterday. So he was letting me know that you had just kind of helped him get set up with his podcast and all.
Yeah, he's being a little biatch. I know he's got a full-time. I know he's got a full-time job in the military and kids and a wife and then 7-figure flipping and 7-figure agent and
100 things. Yeah.
And blackjack, real estate and I know he has all those things, but he is not prioritized. Though I do not accept those as an excuse for not launching his podcast yet. So you can tell him I said he's being a little bitch.
I think he said he told me yesterday he recorded his first episode. So,
did he? Good. Well, he told me I was going to be his first guest. So he must be.
So he lied to you.
He lied. Yeah, he lied, and I assume he's intimidated.
Maybe you'll be posted first, and it'll technically be the first guest. Everybody else is just a trial run.
Yeah. Hosting a podcast. Well, you know it, right? I mean, dude, it's again, you have to find your way. You know what else? I'll tell you, I'm not a good interviewer. I'm not. I'm a little bit too. Maybe I'm just too egocentric.
Cool.
Maybe I'm too egocentric, but I'm like, look, I really want to meet you and I really want to get to know you and others. I'm like, I really want to get to know people and listen to them and have a conversation with them, but I don't want to interview them. That's a different dynamic. I want to have a conversation. I want us to get to know each other. And when you do an interview style, it's like I'm asking you and you're just there, hogging all the glory, and I don't want that. So I found along the way, I'm like, dude, you have to do it. Yeah, you have to do it your way.
Yeah. Well, so I imagine you used to do the podcast with Dave Frey also, right?
Yeah, I will probably get back to doing that. I liked doing that at least some of the time. But the time zones. I live in Maui, and the time zone is just it's just too hard.
So you have some good crap to talk about Dave at all, or some good ribbon on Dave time?
We don't have enough time to get all the ribbon on Dave.
I like
Well,
it.
I love that. I love Dave. He can take a good beating. Dave is a very good human being. I'll start with that, and I'll end
Yes,
with that. Everything else is shit talk. um,
good
Dave's a
dude.
good dude, but Dave has the same unfortunate flaw. That he has the same condition that we all have, in that he's human and flawed.
Isn't that accurate?
His ways are just easier to pick on than some. That's all.
He does, he does a lot of shit talk as well, so that's good
He does a lot of shit.
to get it back every now and again.
Yeah. For some reason, Dave and I have a really good dynamic where I just know him so well that I know how to really really get in there, and he continues to be a good sport. So I wish only the best for our friend Mr. Pere. He's a wonderful human being, and he's done just he has served people and this community uh, just magnificently. So very
Yeah,
thankful for that guy.
yeah, really
Um,
awesome.
yeah.
Hey, so
He's a,
go ahead. I'm
no, go
sorry.
ahead. Good. 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 Good.
I was going to change the topic here, but
Yeah.
I was trying to follow the thread to prepare myself for meeting Alexander the Great, and
Uh huh.
I see it in your title here. Um, I looked through some of your book lists. You have a pretty extensive reading list on your site there.
Yeah, I actually haven't updated it in a while. Books are. I tell people all the time the three best investments are uh, people, health. People, mind, health. Like people, books, and the gym membership. Those are the three best investments. Uh, yeah, I like books. I really like reading. Like, Uh, it- you know, I like reading interesting books. I like being curious. I like reading books that are not very popular, only because I like knowing things that aren't common. That's just I don't know how I'm built, but I think there's something valuable about understanding the world at large beyond just like how to make money or how to do this one thing. It's like, you know,
Yeah,
philosophy. What about you? You like books?
I do. Yeah, yeah. I didn't recognize a whole lot of books on your list, but that's part of your goal, I think, right? To find
Yeah.
off the beaten path.
Yeah, I like I'm reading right now. I'm reading a book by the guy who created TED Talks. It's
Huh.
called uh it's called Radical Generosity,
Oh, okay.
and it is not a difficult. It's not called Radical Generosity. It's called, hold please, Infectious Generosity. Infectious Generosity, and that is not a hard book. But it was what's interesting about that book is the guy did TED Talks, right? And so he's like, hey, I got this company called TED. It's ideas worth spreading, and he's like, I did this for 20 years or whatever it is, and he's like, of the 20 years of listening to these people and hosting these events, this massively popular, you know, um, educational platform essentially. He's like, the idea that I think is the most worth spreading is infectious generosity. And so I thought that was a very compelling argument, or a
Hmm.
compelling like story about like, hey, if you listen to the smartest people in the world talk about what they think is the most important idea for the last 20 years, and the biggest idea that comes out of that is generosity. I think that that was very compelling. Also, I mean, I identify with that. I feel like I give people a lot of my time. This, right? I
Yeah.
feel like I give people a lot of my time. And I do it with cameras in a weird way. That's a different story about like, I don't like to trade my, I don't like to trade dollars for camera work. I like to just give it away because some weird phenomenon that happens with that. But so anyways, that book's been great. And then another book that I've been reading is The Omnivore's Dilemma, which is another fascinating book about how natural organic food and capitalism combined to just, it's not really like a negative book. It's just like, it's kind of like, because we can eat anything as humans, we can consume anything, then our food systems don't default to what's healthy. They default to what's efficient for the farmers.
Mm.
Not even efficient for the money. It's not even actually economically efficient. It's just efficient for like what's the easiest for the farmers to do, because we can eat it and consume it and then it's fine. It's like we don't really, we have a health problem, but it's like not. It's better than we don't have a starvation problem anymore. So like that book's been really interesting as well. So
Well, that's good.
well, Jim, I love trying to use this time. I usually stop these hard at 30 minutes, but I do like
Yeah.
to use these times to try to help other folks. So like, what who do you need to meet? What problems are you having? How can I serve?
Um, yeah, I think part of it I really wanted to meet you since you threw it out there. And it's always good to meet folks. I enjoy doing that as well. Um, I think I don't know if it's shiny object per se, or if it's just there are a lot of things that interest me, so I'm doing a number of different things. Um, and so right now the big focus has been the launch of Titan Title and with Adam and getting that up and running. While at the same time, I'm kind of maintaining. I have a law practice for New Jersey. I'm licensed in Jersey as an attorney, but I'm doing that remotely here from Florida because it's mostly transactional work that doesn't need to be done in person, that kind of thing.
Love
Um,
that.
so that's been pretty cool. And I had gotten, involved in the residential real estate as a retail agent here in Florida also. So it's just kind of juggling a lot of those things. Um, yeah, sometimes it's just good to hear from other people. How do you juggle? What's your strategy or your thought on those things?
I'm a juggler. It it's a weird phenomenon. I'll tell you because I'm struggling with this right now in life. I like to juggle.
Yeah,
Juggling brings me joy here, but then what happens is I don't make as much money because money requires sort of like a little bit of
focus.
consistent, stable focus on one thing to grow it.
Yeah,
Dabbling is not very profitable, but it feeds my soul. But then I might, but it hurts my ego because then I don't have the financial or the business built the way I want it. And I think the optimist in me says that there's a way to do both. I also don't need to be the biggest business owner, so like I don't need that much money. I'm just trying to, I'm certainly trying to make an abundance, but not like I don't have to be Amazon, or I don't have to be even like Bill Allen, like who's that big. So I would say one, I think that there's a way to do both. I always default to biology. If your biology says you're a dabbler, or you like to have different interests, or you like variety, I always say biology first. Um, business is business is artificial. It's created by humankind. It works inside of rules that are built for business, not for humans. Some humans fit in it really, really well, but not all, and that's okay. And that's why there's also different kinds of businesses. So I would say first, I wouldn't fight your biology, but I understand that sometimes it's very hard to be at peace with both of those things. Um, and I also say personally, I do think there's a way to be successful and dabble. And for me, what that generally looks like is partners.
yeah,
So, like, what are the parts of the business that you're bad at that require somebody to sit there day to day and do it? And it's like, can you find that person rather than do you have to be that person? I'm not good at this. I'm getting better at it. I'm not great at this,
yeah,
but that's my sentiment. That's my perspective is I'm learning now. I'm like, hey, I'm going to dabble. How can I find people who understand that I'm going to dabble? And, maybe I don't get a big piece, but man, if I could collect small pieces of businesses along the way and then not have to be chained to them, I think that would suit my personality, my financial future, and my soul.
yeah, yeah. I think what's been helpful, at least for me, is that they all they're related. the different businesses I'm involved in. You know, title and my legal business is real estate. Doing real estate as an agent, so they kind of do inform each other. Those different areas. So I'm gaining experience in one that's helping me do better in the other, and so they are kind of they're different but related.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
so
teach
I love
me to
that
get
topic.
to work, I guess.
Well, well, they're also they can overlap. So I do this. This is what I do a lot of the time, and this started as like a little passion project. But what I've done, and I think everybody can do it, is I have found ways to combine this and real estate in ways that are useful, profitable, in demand, and feed my soul. So as
Yeah,
long as you're like, hey, I'm working in one industry now, I have these different things. It might take longer if you're not like, I'm going to build just a title company, and then when that's done, I'll go build this next thing. If you're building them this way, as long as they're sort of vertically integrated, I think you can still. I my hope is that my optimism says that you can still find your path within that process. Again, I haven't done it. I'm just being an optimist, but
well, not everybody
that's what
can
I'm
be
going to go
Andy
do.
Whitney and have 15 different successful businesses running at the same
Well,
time.
he's also absurdly boring. My dude goes to work, right? He goes to work, he hangs out with his family. He's a good family guy. He does his he likes his he's rigid, he's structured, he's not bouncing around. He's doing the thing. So again, I look at it and go, um he's built for that. He's an integrator. He's not eccentric, he's
Yeah,
he's not an artist, he's not and that's I don't knock those things, and I'm not jealous of those things either. I'm like, you can be better at business with me, but I'm gonna have more fun than you. We just got to
yeah,
find everybody has to
yeah.
find their balance. So
Well,
yeah,
he's also very, very wise and smart in managing businesses and managing people. Um, so kind of just, I had this thought as you were talking there. I was involved in ministry for a bunch of years as an area director, and one of the things that we would kind of say in training was be more of a director than a doer.
yeah.
Uh, and so, good lesson and good reminder, even in business, to be able to oversee and direct a lot of these things and bring in the right people, delegate to be
Do you
able to
want
handle.
do you want to do that?
I do, especially like, I've been doing my real estate law practice for about 20 something years here. So there are many elements of that I don't need to be doing myself.
Sure,
That I need to have somebody handle the administrative, a lot of the clerical stuff, that I can oversee that more. I like
sure,
getting in and getting involved and being hands on with a lot of things, but I can kind of satisfy these different areas of interest, I guess, by taking on partners, like you said, and bringing in people to help me.
yeah. I mean, that's just how I do it. So
Yeah, yeah,
what do I know? But that's what I do. Um,
yeah. No, that's all good.
yeah. Like I have multifamily, and it's like, dude, I am not good at showing up every day and like working this 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 property. So I just have somebody that works the property, and I have somebody that does like the distributions, and I have somebody that does like the taxes and the insurance, and I'm like, I don't want to do those things. I mean, I can do those things, and I understand and they're important, and I'm not, I just don't want to do them. And I kind of sound like a petulant child, but I'm like, what I do want to do is I want to talk to people, and I want to do the investor reports, and I want to uh I want to answer for when things go bad. I'm okay with that, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to talk to people. So I'm like, dude, we all win.
Yeah,
And so it's just a matter of like finding that sort of like um that balance. So I don't think of myself as a director. I think of myself as like more like a recruiter. I'm like, who can I get that wants to do this other piece that I really don't want to do? I want to do it.
yeah. That's good.
So, but Adam's definitely somebody better to learn from about business than me. I have my skills and strengths in life, and I'm happy about them. But Adam's definitely better at business. So like I would not take that much business advice from me. Have my I have my wisdom about the world because I've seen a lot of the world and I've done a lot of stuff. But when it comes to business, Adam's better at business. I'm better at living the way I want to live and having business serve that. But that
Mm.
also means like I have to live light because I don't make as much money because I'm not focused on business. So again, uh, yeah, it's just
Well,
yeah,
I was going to ask you about that. I guess looking back at your story, it sounds like your journey started in maybe as far as with real estate and everything around 2017. Is that is that the right time
yeah,
frame, or is that when you started your
yeah,
thing?
yeah. I bought a foreclosure in 2014, but I started buying rentals like really in 2016. I started the blog in 2017.
Yeah.
Um, Tried a couple podcasts and kind of just yeah, and I started cameras in 2016. So like both of those kind of went together, and now it's been is it 17, 18, 19, 20? So it's
Seven
been
years.
7 years. Yeah, so
It's like
it's starting to take
not that long ago, right?
yeah, it's starting to take some pick up some momentum. I mean, 7 years ago, think about it. 7 years ago, I just bought my first rental property and I just started a camera, and now I'm in Maui creating a podcast for the most popular real estate educator on planet on in America.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
That's
it's
great.
and again, I mean, because of the way I live, right? Because I stay flexible and nimble because I don't have a business that I work in every day. I was able to do this. If I had a business that I'm like, I can't leave, I have all these employees, I wouldn't be able to do this. So that's where I think the flexibility of like, you know, understanding how to build something for you, not for what somebody else says it's supposed to be,
Mm.
really starts to add in.
So where along that timeline, you said before you don't really need that much money. Um, there probably was a time where you felt like you did, though, or was there?
I still need more. I still
Yeah.
need more. I just, well, I don't have, look, I don't have kids. Well, me and I like living light. There's something powerful. That's why the website used to be it's called Life and Lens now. It used to be called Broke as a Choice. And the idea
Yeah.
was, yeah, if you're broke, it's because you're making bad choices. But also, there's something powerful about staying broke by choice, because when you
Yeah.
live light, it makes you like luxury, dude. Luxury is a addiction.
Yeah.
You get comfortable. So I've always just like, hey, I'm always stressing about money, but it's mostly on purpose. Like I have enough money, but I always just like, hey, I need more. And so it
Yeah.
always keeps me sort of scarce. It keeps me like, as I like to say, it keeps me hunting. I'm always like trying to hunt.
Yeah.
Um,
I've thought philosophically, a lot of people will say that type of a statement when they are speaking from a place where they have enough money that they don't need that much because they already have it.
dude, I never
Um,
have, dude, if I have, like my bank account stays light. It's always stressing me out. Because as soon as I have like, even a small amount of money, like I rarely keep more than $1,000 in the bank. Like I'm never sitting on cash. If I have cash, it goes away. And now sometimes it goes to
or
savings or brokerage. And then it's like, you're just I still to this day at 40 years old with like, I'm not rich, but you know, my total net worth is now well over 1 million. And it's like, I still go to restaurants and stuff like that, or go to buy something. I'm checking my bank account to make sure I have enough money before I can buy something. Like in the line, I'm like, let me check Chase real quick, and it's like, dude, you have $300 in the bank, and I like that. It's stressful. It's a little bit. It can be sort of like, I say it embarrassing because you might think like, oh, this fucking guy's broke, and I'm like, I am broke, but I'm broke. I'm broke because I stick my money aside so that I can use it for things that make money. I try not to spend money on things that make money. It also keeps me. I'm always terrified of getting frivolous with money. I think it's one of the worst slippery addictions is being frivolous with money because um, when you start making some, you're like, well, I can spend some. I'll just make some. And I'm like, dude, I've studied those books that you read, right? What are those books that you saw me read? It's like the thing that I've learned more than anything is that history is longer than our memories. And so our memories are like, well, the last 15 years the economy has been nothing but good. So then you start thinking, this is how the world is. Oh, we had a couple of little dips. And I'm like, dude, cataclysm comes.
yeah,
and then all that money that you wasted on bullshit, I'm like, now you're gonna wish you had it. So I always just stay in preparation mode, and that's, anyways. Uh,
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's good.
it keeps me nimble, keeps me focused, keeps me hungry.
Awesome. Well,
All
that's
right.
good. Well, I appreciate getting to meet you today.
Yeah, me too. But I feel like, dude, I feel like this was an Alex interview. How can I help? Who can I
I want
introduce you
to
to?
learn more about you. That's all
Well, I
good.
appreciate that. Um, well, I appreciate that. What can I do for you? Anybody need to know? How can I get your podcast going?
That's a great question.
Okay, well, I can tell you want to do it by your
You,
by your
you've
your mood.
inspired me
So
to look back at my Riverside subscription that I keep paying for nothing for, and get that
dude,
sorted out. I think I overcomplicated it in my mind that there was too much involved even in Riverside, because it's like, well, it gets recorded on your computer and my computer, and then they talk to each other somehow, and I don't know.
nope.
I overcomplicated it to myself.
You overcomplicated it. Just here's what I would do. I would I would get a Calendly, like a free Calendly account. Are you familiar with Calendly?
Yep, I have it.
Yeah, I'd get a free Calendly account. I'd send it to your Riverside thing. I'd go on Facebook. I'd go to Adam. I'd go to Bigger Pockets group, and I would just say, "Hey, I want to talk to people about short-term rentals. Will you do a 30-minute chat with me? Don't call it a podcast. Just say, will you talk to me about short-term rentals? I want to learn. If you know anybody else that wants to chat about short-term rentals, also I'm in the Orlando area. I have some short-term rentals in Orlando. If you think I can teach you, or if you want to learn, here's a free calendar link. It comes to Riverside. As soon as you get on, this is the important part. As soon as they get on, before you introduce anything, you just say, "Hey, do you mind if I record this?"
Hmm.
And then you gotta. It doesn't matter about what it sounds like or what it is. It matters about you being very comfortable that you're in control of the process.
Yeah,
And then you'll do, dude, that thing will fill up. And then before long, you're like, okay, I can do this. This is easy.
yeah. And so, well, it's probably a great strategy if you have all these recordings. Once you do start posting them, it won't be as difficult to keep up because you have kind of a surplus. You're ready to go. You just got them
Yeah,
going.
I started only recording these like a week ago and I have like 15. And I'm just going to post it. I'm just going to keep posting it in this group. I have another group called Better Life, which I love. There's 1,000 people there. I'm just going to keep the calendar full. And then I'm going to go to Bigger Pockets and I'm going to go to my Facebook and I'm going to go to my Instagram. And then I'll put it on YouTube. And then maybe and then it'll organic. People will see it and they're like, oh, I want to talk to this guy. And you got to think, I mean, if you post 2 a week, you need 100 for a year's worth of content.
Yeah,
And if you record, say, 4 a week, you can do that in 20 days
yeah, yeah. That's
or
good.
something like that. That somebody's gonna check me on that math. That math's wrong, but it won't take that long.
Well, that's good. That's the good inspiration I needed.
I'm gonna reach out to you in. I gotta put a note on here. I'm gonna reach out to you in like a month, and I better see something.
I'll get it going. That's a good point. Put it on the. It's a great community, the War Room that we have. So I think there's enough people that I would feel comfortable talking with, just casually and putting it together, asking questions and learning from them would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I started there. I've done it in the past and in public before, but I when I started it up again, I wanted to do it with War Room just because I was like, these are a little bit safer.
Yeah,
But
cool.
there's a lot of guys in the War Room um that'll help. So, all
Good,
right, my
man.
dude.
Thank you. Nice meeting
Dude,
you.
thank you. It's great to meet you. All right, I put a calendar in there. I'm going to text you in a month. I'm going to text you March 1 and see where you're at.
Awesome. Let me put that on my calendar so I can be ready to
Yeah, a
work
little
back,
accountability.
make sure I have it.
Yeah. All right, my dude. Great to
All
meet you,
right.
Jim.
Thanks, man. See you.